Major spoilers ahead. You have been warned. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, what's up people of the world, it is me again, Alex Swimmer, aka AP3 Jumped, and today I'm reviewing one of the final episodes for Friendship is Magic. I'm reviewing the end of the end. So, yeah. Even though, in normal cases, when a multi-part episode is made, I, along with a lot of other people, we review multi-part episodes. All of us have sort of like combine the parts, each part, into one video. Well, actually, Dr. Wolf he decided to not do that this time because there was so much that happened in this finale. He just wanted to, instead of combining both parts of the end into one video, he decided to make separate videos for each part. So I'm not going to do that. I'm still going to combine both parts in one video, even though there is a hell of a lot of stuff I gotta say, because these are actually all 3 episodes of the finale. These are actually the first reviews that I'm doing that I had to take notes for. Not even with the Avengers movies I reviewed that I even bothered to do that. But this felt like it mattered just a little bit more to me, to where I felt like I needed to do that. And also, there's no freaking way I can talk about everything I want to talk about all from the top of my head like I normally can. No way in freaking hell. Especially since I have like over 30 to 40 things written down here. Oh well. So, I'm going to do this as best I can. This review is not going to be easy. And I don't know how long this video is going to be right now. So, you guys already know, obviously. But let me just start from the beginning. Now, the Legion of Doom, Queen Chrysalis, Lord T-Rex, and Cozy Glow, they start to spread rumors. We see Chrysalis in her human photographer. Why did I say human? We see her, and I told you this wouldn't be easy. We see Chrysalis in her photographer pony costume, and we haven't seen that disguise of hers in a long time. And I don't know why I said costume either. But she, along with the other members of the Legion of Doom, were spreading rumors and trying to turn all 3 of the pony races against each other, just like what happened in the story featured in the episode Hearts and Hooves Day. And yeah, so we're gonna go back to the lair. Grogar returns to the lair, and so. The Legion of Doom, they decide to finally reveal their plan and finally turn against Grogar. Finally use his own bell against him. They're able to enhance their magic with the bell, and so T-Rex, he evolves to this level 3 power form, I guess you'd say. And Chrysalis, she has a new evolved form where she has lime green eyes and sort of like a royal outfit, and she's wearing gear very similar to what the royal princess is wearing, actually. And then Cozy Glow, she turns into an Alcorn because how else would she? How else would she evolve her appearance and magic? So they all gain crazy magic. Their magical powers get through the roof. Now, at that point, they decide to completely drain all of Grogar's energy. Here's the kicker, though. This is the start of the list of huge shockers and surprises. So it turns out. It's not actually Grogar they're draining the magic of, it's Discord. And I'm thinking, So Discord, he after his magic was taken away by the bell, it's absorbed within the bell. Discord runs away. Kozuko's like, wait, Grogar was Discord all along? And I'm thinking to myself, hold on, wait a minute. If Discord, there still has to be a real Grogar. Perhaps that was just Discord just disguising himself as Grogar in that moment to try to get like intel on the Legion of Doom. And unfortunately, that is, I'll tell you, I'm getting ahead of myself. So yeah, I thought that was just Grogar in disguise. Like, wait, what is going on is what I'm thinking. And I was thinking like, oh, the real Grogar still has to be somewhere, right? But we head back to Canterlot Castle. And by the way, everyone is planning ahead here. Twilight and everyone are planning ahead. They're reaching out to all these different kingdoms, to and the Crystal Empire as well. They're trying to raise their defenses for a prepared attack. And also, like I said, everyone is learned how to plan ahead, and the bad guys and the good guys, because the bad guys, they're not attacking outright just full force. No, they're being sneaky and they're being cunning and they're thinking their plans. They're thinking like really, what's the word I'm looking for? Their plans are very well thought out. And same thing with the good guys. Everyone is able to plan their offenses and defenses. I still can't talk. Like in a very smart way. I appreciate that from everybody. How everyone is being smart, and everyone's being smarter in this whole situation. The good guys and the bad guys. So here's the kicker. Discord, he confesses something that just was downright shocking to me. He confesses that, well, this whole time he was Grogar this whole time throughout this whole season, and so he resurrected King Sombra and freed Lord Tyrek, and he also got Chrysalis and Kozuko together with him, and he basically created the Legion of Doom. But you want to know why? And here's the kind of frustrating thing. So Discord did this as he created these facade scenarios for the main six to boost Twilight's confidence and to make her believe in herself that she can be a good leader of Equestria. And then that just takes everyone aback and everyone by surprise, and that's sort of, you would think that would sort of retcon everything that Discord has learned, and people, you would think that, like, well, has Discord learned nothing since he's been reformed? Well, see, here's the way I think. Discord is a character who, ever since he's been reformed, he's always had a difficult time expressing kindness and friendship and expressing good deeds. Now, he actually reminds me of another character from another one of my favorite TV shows, whom I won't spoil who I'm talking about, what show it is, just in case. But so we'll just call this we'll call this secret character, just for simplicity's sake. So Discord and secret character are similar in that they're both reformed villains, and sometimes, a lot of the time, they both have great intentions, which is what Discord had in this case, but their actions spoke louder than words. And I've learned, this is a lesson my parents have taught me. It's not always about your intentions. People will always respond to your actions first before they will be willing to understand the intent behind those actions. And that is exactly the problem Discord was facing in this episode, specifically, and Secret Character too. So, yeah, but Discord more so here in this. We're done talking about Secret Character. So, everyone is quite upset by this, and Celestia's like, you have made a grave misjudgment, Discord. And yeah, I was kind of upset. Discord's my favorite character in the entire series, even from the moment I saw him. Even since he was a villain, he was my favorite character. But now, that part was just kind of upsetting to me. It's like, well, okay, Discord, he's... I want to believe in Discord. I want to, still root for Discord. I'm pissed. I was kind of pissed off at him in that moment, and along with everyone else. Poor Fluttershy. She was so disappointed by, because Fluttershy is the first person who befriended Discord, and she's just absolutely just crestfallen about this. Her especially, and everyone else is just completely shocked, just as I am in the audience. And yeah, that's a kind of frustrating moment. Like I said, literally everyone has planned ahead except for Discord. Because here, like I said in the last video, the last episode review I did, Discord likes to take... He doesn't always think things through. He's like Nathan Drake in that regard, actually. And he never always thinks about the consequences of his actions and the cause and effect. That has always been one of Discord's flaws since he became a good guy, and that was always kind of upsetting to me. Like, in previous instances, it didn't upset me nowhere near as much as it did here. And I'm not saying in that scene I was like, oh, I don't like Discord anymore, blah 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 blah. No, I wasn't thinking that at all. I was thinking, well, damn, Discord, you done fucked up. And I'm thinking, how in the hell is he going to make up for this? He does later in part 2. I'll get to that later. So anyway, so we're back at the lair, and so there's this one part that's really interesting where each of the members of the Legion of Doom are trying to figure out what to... They're bickering as always. That's one of their things that they do. They're bickering like, ooh, I want Discord's magic for all to myself. Like, no, I want Discord's magic. So they see what... I think Chris was the one who warns Tarek and Kozuko, like, well, this magic is so chaotic. Like, none of us might be able to control it. And that is quite true, because they unleashed Discord's magic that was now absorbed within the bell onto Cozy Glow. And so Cozy Glow, she turns into just like this giant beast. And yeah, she grows giant, and she's now a corn. She kind of has the physical like shape of like Princess Celestia, but she has like crazy hair. Her hair's still like in these curls, but her hair is crazy. Her design gets all crazy. She has like large bat wings now, and she has like a echoey and superimposing voice. But when she tries to unleash magic, unfortunately, she can't really unleash like devastating magic. You can only release like silly chaotic magic, like rubber chickens and balloons. And so that only lasts for about a minute. And you know what? It's funny. Of the very few spoilers that I saw for this finale, I saw a small screen cap of this, but I saw it out of context. So it's a damn good thing I saw these spoilers out of context, because I thought that was like, oh, that's the final form that the main six are going to face. Nope, that's not true, because that scene only lasted like a minute and a half. I'm like, oh, okay, that's it. So, yeah. So, flash forward a little bit. My notes are getting a bit. All right. Okay, now we're back. So, we get to Tirek. So, the Legion of Doom, they all head out, and the Pillars, they're trying to fend off the villains and trying to protect Equestria. But unfortunately, Tirek, he's able to dispatch the Pillars with almost no problems. They're able to fend themselves off a little bit, but before Tirek sucks up all of their magic, you know, like Tirek does, and which is why he's one of the most terrifying villains in the whole series, in my eyes. And yeah, at one point, Starlight fights Chrysalis when she shows up, but she teleports herself and Chrysalis to like the ends of the earth. She teleports them in like this snowy mountainous area. It's like there's like a blizzard going on and whatnot. So she does that to protect the citizens of Equestria and get them as far away as possible so that they can have that battle scene. And this is like one of the final moments for Starlight and one of the final scenes in which she gets her time to shine. Excuse me. So, yeah, that's a really good battle scene, and it was tense. You thought Starlight was going to win because she basically was able to have a little mini avalanche fall on Chrysalis, and then she walks she walks away from that with a stern look on her face. And that's a nice little scene. And unfortunately, Chrysalis, she escapes the snow, the little mini avalanche, and she captures Starlight and wraps her up in a little cocoon. I forgot Chrysalis even did that sort of thing. And so, yeah, we're back at the castle. Cozy Glow arrives. It's at that point she arrives and she starts to just, you know, she just goes in and then attacks. Unlike what I've been talking about earlier, where everyone was planning ahead, now Cozy Glow gets her chance to just attack. Just boom, just start attacking. And she drains the magic of Celestia and Luna with Grogar's Bell. Poor Twilight, she screams at the top of her lungs when she sees Luna and Celestia collapse from their drainage of magic. I've never heard Twilight scream in such bloody murder as I have in that scene. Right there. Because you could see and feel the pain that Celestia and Luna were in as they were losing their magic, and also Twilight's pain. You could hear the pain in her voice. And, so, if I remember correctly, I think all the villains are show up at the castle, or no, I think only Cozy Glow is at the castle. No, I could be wrong. I think all the Legions of Doom show up at the castle, and then the main six, plus Spike, plus Starlight, and Celestia and Luna all get their short time to shine. They all attack like one by one. Pinkie Pie uses like a party bazooka, or whatever. She has like a legit party weapon, and there's also this one part where Fluttershy, she has this little army of like featherless geese or whatever. She's like, "Fly, my pretties." Of course, a reference to the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. And let's see what's next. It's at that point all the main characters, they're trying to fend off the Legion of Doom, and so everyone's like, "Oh, Twilight, you need to escape," but Twilight is very reluctant on doing that. She does not want to leave her friends behind, any of them. And that was, you know, this, I just want to say right quick, there's a lot of really tough decisions that all of the characters have to make, good and bad. Like especially more so the good guys and the bad guys. There's a lot of tough decisions that the heroes have to make. along the way in this finale, and it's commendable writing. It's commendable storytelling. When I just love seeing, stories where characters have to really think about their next move, and sometimes they might not like the next move, but they have to do it anyway, which is what was actually the case for Twilight. She was finally convinced by Discord. She's yelling at her, "Fly, you fool!" And it's at that point Twilight finally is able to teleport herself, tearing up in the process, and she teleports herself to Canterlot Castle. It's really the only safe place she could think of to be at that moment. And that is the end of part 1. So, yeah. Next, I want to... So, yeah. Let me just address some... Actually, I'll address Discord's little controversial confession near the end. So let's just jump right into part 2. So in this second part, Twilight Sparkle and her friends face their ultimate battle while Equestria is divided in disharmony, because like I said earlier, the Legion of Doom, they were successful in doing that. And it's really a damn shame to see all of the characters sort of turning on each other. It's like everyone's like going backwards, and that's really disheartening to see. And I don't really like that situation, guys. It's a very tense situation. That's another thing about this finale. There's a lot of tense situations going on, and even though the main antagonists are villains who are not new villains and are old villains, the stakes are still high. The stakes are really high. So anyway, let me just jump right to the next part. So everyone is captured by the Legion of Doom. All the rest of the main 6 and Spike, Discord, Celestia, Luna, Starlight, and the Pillars. All of the main characters are captured. In a very similar vein to the first Lego movie, actually, where President Business I'm kind of spoilers for the first Lego movie. You could skip like 30 seconds ahead if you don't want to hear this, but so yeah, in the first Lego movie, President Business, he captures like pretty much all, he captures all the master builders, if I remember correctly. And yeah, all the master builders, and he traps them in like they're all trapped in like these little jails, and there's like they're all trapped by these green doors too, in a large room, and which is exactly what Chrysalis did, because her color schemes are like green and black. All the main characters in this scene are also being held prisoner by green doors, which completely like diminish all the magic of the characters who still have magic. The main 6 and Spike, since they still had magic, and Starlight still had magic, they can't use their magic to escape from their doors because they're magic proof. With all the other characters who already had their magic drained, guess it doesn't make that much of a difference. But so yeah, Discord apologizes for his actions. He said, "I'll do my very best to make it up to you." And Rainbow Dash, she says, very understandably, she says, "Well, that better be an extremely epic makeup." And yeah, she has every damn right to say that. Discord pissed him off. It's like they're sort of back at square one. That's a theme with this finale. That's like characters are sort of going backwards and reverting to like square one with these like terrible circumstances that they're in. Discord's relationship with the main characters, and also the races of Equestria not getting along. But Discord is actually able to redeem himself by distracting Tyrek and Cozy and Chrysalis. He's sort of taunting Tyrek, and so at one point, the Legion of Doom, they used to build on Discord, and Discord dodges, and the blast like ricochets all over the room until it bounces off the walls of some of the cells, if not all of the cells, because Discord, and that his thinking was like he was hoping to distract Tyrek and have the blast hopefully ricochet against the door and break some, even if he only broke one of the doors, he would still be able to have someone escape and reach out to Twilight, and so the rest of them can be saved. But his plan worked a little better than expected. He was able to free the main six, plus Spike, plus Celestia, plus Luna, plus Starlight, and I think the rest of the pillars as well. So, yeah. Rainbow Dash was like, oh, okay. I don't remember exactly what she said. I think she said something along the lines of like, oh, wow, that is a pretty epic makeup. And it's at that point, Discord, he finally, it seems like he's back on good terms with the characters. I mean, that's really good. I very much appreciate that, because that was really upsetting me. And, let's see, what's next? So, like I said, yeah, and I'm glad Discord is able to make up for his actions by helping the main characters escape. So, meanwhile, Equestria is in pieces, and that really sucks, because we see them, the people who escaped try to convince them, but unfortunately they can't do that, and as a result, the damned Wendigos return, and even the Legion of Doom, they're like, Cozy is like, oh, should we get rid of them or deal with them later? And Tyrek is like, no. Even we shouldn't mess with them. They're ancient magic, so they need not to be tampered with. And yeah, Tyrek's right. You know, I sort of predicted that the Wendigos would return. I was wondering if they would ever return in the series, and lo and behold, they did. My prediction came true. So, and it's at that point, it's starting to get cold. The atmosphere is getting cold, and so luckily, the Young Six get a moment to shine. They're actually the ones who are actually able to help convince everyone that all the races that they were under, you know, they were all basically like brainwashed. Not literally, because in this series people literally can be brainwashed, but you know, everyone was like verbally and mentally brainwashed. So yeah, so at that point the Young Six are able to convince like all of the races of Equestria to reunite and help save the day. And they're trying to remind them of how all the races reunited back in like the first Hearts and Hooves Day. Everyone, all the Young Six members are saying, and even some background kids, some random background characters are saying some motivational speeches too. Everyone is like, oh, it's not just about singing songs. It's about joining together as one and fighting for the greater good, fighting for a great cause, and fighting to help save the damn day and save the place that we all care about. Make sure we still have a place to live in. Make sure we save and preserve our home, which is Equestria. And that's how they did it. Bravo to the young six, man. They did an amazing job with their motivational speeches. That's another thing I love about this episode. There's a lot of great motivational speeches, like, all throughout. Most of them are said by Twilight, but she's not the only one who has motivational speeches. And those motivational speeches really, they just really sort of amp the viewer up. They amp me up, honestly. Yeah, they do. And let's see. What is next? Oh. Meanwhile, Twilight has lost all hope. She's back at Canterlot Castle. She's in that room that she's in a room at Canterlot Castle, and Twilight's friends are able to help find her, the main 6+ Spike, that is. And Twilight, she's basically pretty much heart-sunken about the fact that she's disappointed in herself, and she's questioning herself a lot, because all these recent trials and tribulations were fake. And Twilight's like, oh, since these scenarios were all fake, was everything that we did meaningless? And was this all for nothing? And does anything we do matter? And yeah, that shit is really disheartening to watch. I mean, you know, we've seen Twilight have self-doubts numerous times throughout the series. But this, I feel like, is I feel like this is where she doubts herself the most, more than any other time in the series. Because she thought all her efforts were for nothing. And what I appreciate is that Twilight's friends are all able to convince her that none of them would be the same if it weren't for you, and none of them would have been able to evolve themselves if it wasn't for the fact that they all met. And if they all did become friends, then none of them would have evolved as better people. And so, yeah, that's a really heartwarming scene too. So it's at that point Twilight's like, or the Pinkie Pie is like, let's go and save Equestria, and that's in the trailer for the finale. And Pinkie's like, everyone's like, well, what are we going to do? And then Twilight's like, same thing we do every time, Pinkie. Trying to save the world, which is almost identical to the Pinkie and the Brain quote. So yeah, I love that little reference. So that's great. And now we get to the ultimate battle. Everyone is fighting, and so yeah, that's a very where are all my notes? Yeah, my notes are all backwards, or at least I thought they were. So anyway, we get to the ultimate battle, and I'm gonna say it again. Everyone is here. That is a tagline that has been popularized by Smash Ultimate, and that is a trope that started last year. It all started with Avengers Infinity War last year, and other examples include the aforementioned Smash Ultimate and Cartoon Network's crossover Nexus, then Avengers Endgame earlier this year, and now this show does it as well. Like, literally every freaking race in the series shows up in this part to fight. and the changelings, they all we had the ponies, all three races. We have earth ponies, unicorns, pegasi, the changelings, griffins, yaks, hippogriffs, those creatures that took an oath, that took a silent oath. I can't remember what they were called, but even they're in here. And yeah, we even see movie characters in this finale, by the way. Yeah, that I predicted that movie characters were going to show up, and lo and behold, they did. And throughout all three parts, and in this final battle, we see Tempest Shadow in this part with a new model, and she looks great in the standard My Little Pony style. And yeah, she doesn't talk. None of the movie characters talk or anything, but the fact that they're even here is fucking awesome. And she's standing right next to the Moon Dancer, I think is her name. And so yeah, like I said, everyone is here. Everyone does their part to help fend off the Legion of Doom. Some people are more. It's more noticeable with some characters than others, like the changelings, where it will create divergence by shape-shifting, and the yaks were able to shake the ground and stun the Legion of Doom. And not every race did like everything that like. It's sure, like some races like barely did anything, but the fact that every race showed up for the final battle in a very similar vein to fucking Avengers Endgame, by the way. Spoiler alert for that. Yes, that whole fucking scene is fucking awesome, and I love it. I love that shit to death. There are some moments where it seems like the villains are getting more leverage. And then the heroes, and at one point, Chrysalis, she's holding Spike up by his wings, and she's threatening to clip off his fucking wings. Like, goddamn, the fact that they would even say something like that in this show? Like, remember how I was saying in the last episode that some things need to be censored because of the fact that this is a kid's show? Like the example I said for the season 4 finale. One of the only things Twilight wasn't allowed to do was punch Tyrek in the face. Well, apparently that shit was retconned too, because Tyrek lost a tooth because of Twilight. And poor Spike, Chrysalis was threatening to clip off his damn wings. And that shit is at that point, it was like, God damn, Chrysalis, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck at that point? And poor Spike, he's so... This guy's so brave. He's like, don't worry about me, Twilight. I'll be fine. Just go. And yeah, he's willing to have his fucking wings clipped off for Twilight's sake. Oh my god. Like, fucking wow. Spike, you fucking rock, my man. And my hair's getting all fucking messy. So Twilight's like, nope, I'm not having any of that shit. So she saves Spike, and Spike's wings are intact. nothing happens to his wings, thank God. Like, my fucking lord, that's part. I'm surprised Dr. Wolf didn't talk about that. Anyway, let's see. After that, the villains. The villains in the main six are, at their final confrontation, and it's at that point Twilight has her final motivational speech against the villains, like she always does, and what this part's really freaking awesome. All three groups represent the elements of harmony, past, present, and future. Float up to the sky. We have the pillars, the old elements of harmony, the main six plus Spike even. Representing the current elements of harmony, and the young six represent the future elements of harmony. Twilight was basically saying that the elements of harmony didn't matter. Those were just those were merely symbols of what the elements of harmony represent. And the true magic of the elements of harmony is actually within the groups of characters who represent the elements of harmony, past, present, and future. And what I love is that all three of those groups are able to unleash one final magic rainbow blast against the main villains. Yeah, what a great final rainbow blast. Yeah. What a great final rainbow blast. And I was wondering if the main six were going to turn into their rainbow forms again, but they didn't. That was just a one-time thing in the season, I think the season 4 finale is when that happened. I remember not everyone was a fan of those designs at the time. A lot of people thought they were hideous. I liked those designs. I didn't think they were hideous, but anyway. So, after that, there's still a lot more things I have to say for just a... Man, oh man. So, after the Rainbow Blast, all the enemies are... They're defeated, and the Legion of Doom they all get squashed by a giant cupcake, and then Chocolate Rain shows up, and Spike, he tastes it, he's like, Chocolate Rain? And everyone, including myself, was like, oh, Discord must have got his magic back. Well, not exactly. Turns out Pinkie Pie she was holding the magic. She was using Discord's magic just like Cozy Glow was. She was holding the bell, and by doing that, she turned into a giant, basically kind of chaotic version of Pinkie Pie, and she says some crazy shit. I don't remember what she says, but that whole scene where there's like just and also the background changes to like this it changes to like this what I would call like a cake and sweets alternate dimension or something like that. Pinkie, her hair, she gets giant, her hair gets crazy, and then she's saying some crazy shit. And so it's like, I think she says like, oh, I'm going to have the entire universe filled with cupcakes. And then Twilight's like, she's basically like, give me that. And then Pinkie Pie, poor thing, she's still shaking and her eyes are loopy. She gets woozy from absorbing all that power. So yeah, we were all right. Both the characters and the audience, we were all right in saying that only Discord can handle his own magic. No one else really can. Although Dr. Wolf made a point saying that, even though Twilight's the main character and she carries the show, perhaps Pinkie Pie could have been the one to save the day, and she could have used she could have used Discord's magic, and she could have used that form to defeat the villains. And yeah, it also could have maybe chaotic Pinkie could have fought chaotic Cozy Glow, and yeah, but that wasn't the case. Whatever. That whole entire scene is gold. It is fucking great, and I fucking love it. Dr. Wolf, he couldn't get enough of that shit. He loves that scene to death too. Like, yeah, it was great. So yeah, she could have been the one to save the day. And so once again, the day is saved, thanks to the main six. And yeah, Celestia and Luna are trying to think of a punishment, and they're trying to think of the perfect punishment given what they've done. And so they're struggling to think of a punishment, but Discord actually suggests something to both of them. He whispers in both of their ears at the same time because he can clone himself. And so what he does is he turns all three members of the Legion of Doom, Discord, Yeah, Discord, Celestia, and Luna, they all used their own magic to turn all three members of the Legion of Doom into stone, just as Discord was for so many years, for 1,000 years roughly, because he got turned into stone twice. So first he was in this pose, and then he was in this pose. Did you hear my fucking elbows popping? So yeah, that's a really satisfying punishment for the Legion of Doom. Maybe not so satisfying for all of the members. I'll get to that later. So after all said and done, we get to like sort of the epilogue of part 2. Everyone's eating at like this diner with donuts. Like, I labeled this scene in my notes "Apocalyptic Donuts," and I'm pretty sure Dr. Wolf said something very similar in his video. So I really like this scene. Forgive me for popping my ears a lot, but in that scene, the characters say stuff that they say some really clever lines. They're saying like one of the characters says like, "Oh, this feels like the end of an era," and then Rainbow Dash is like with a donut in her wing, and she's like, "Or this can maybe be the start of a new, awesomer era," and yeah, and Twilight, I'm trying to remember what she says. She says, whatever comes next is going to be perfect. And then Spike's like, well, how do you know that? And Twilight says, with you guys by my side, how could it not? And that's when part 2 of the ending of the end ends. And you know, the whole dialogue bit was a great fourth wall reference to I'm sure I'm not the only one who's picked up on this, but I feel like that's a great reference to the transition between G4 and G5. So it's not just that they were talking about what events within the show, Twilight, her coronation and moving away to Canterlot. They're also talking about the generation shift between G4 and G5, the transition. That is some really clever ass fucking writing, and the last problem has just as clever double meanings and allegories and whatnot. In that, might not be using the word allegories properly, but so. Overall, my final thoughts, I don't even know how long this fucking video is, so overall, these episodes were fan-fucking-tastic. They were damn near perfect, and the lesson at the end with Twilight, she's saying like, oh, the elements of harmony, they're just mere symbols, they're not exactly meant to store the magic of the elements of harmony. The magic is always it's supposed to be instilled within the people who represent those elements. That's a great lesson for both the kids and the adults. It's satisfying for both age groups, I feel like. Yeah, and Dr. Wolf said this could have been the plot for a feature-length movie. And yeah, so I mean, I can definitely agree, because I want to talk about multiple points at the same time. There's some things that are a little frustrating, and there are some scenes that could have been longer but weren't due to time constraints. And there are also some things that were, like Discord's confession. That was controversial within the characters and within us audience members. Understandably so. That does seem like it does make Discord look like he's regressed as a character, but I do feel like it does make for strong. It does, even though that's a shitty thing that Discord did, that he's done throughout this whole season. It still does make for great and compelling storytelling. I will say that. Even though all that was just a whole completely shitty scenario, it still made for great storytelling. Dr. Wolf said the same thing, and well, rather he said that was needed in order for the story to, you know, be compelling. So we basically said the same damn thing. And like I said, for tying in for my other 2 points, this could have been the length of a full feature movie. I totally agree with Dr. Wolf on that. But because it wasn't, some things and some scenes had to be cut due to time constraints, like the scene with the pillars. They could have had a much longer fight scene with Tyrek. Starlight and Chrysalis could have had a much longer fight. I feel like that fight was just long enough. I was satisfied with that fight. I personally, while I thought that fight could have been a little longer, I was still satisfied with what we got in that scene. The scene with the pillars, on the other hand, that could have been longer. And unfortunately, everything just had to move at such a breakneck pace. That's just the unfortunate sacrifice of having to... That's just what happens when you have to cut things due to time constraints. I mean, all TV shows suffer through this. Movies sometimes, but not really. Because, I've been talking about this for so long now, I don't remember what the hell I'm going to say. So, yeah, this... Because the entire finale was an hour and a half. The length, which is actually the exact length of a TV movie. The ending of The End Part 2, Parts 1, 2, and the Last Problem were all grouped together. It's funny that they only showed the opening title once, and they only showed the title within the episode for the ending of The End Part 1. They didn't show the titles within the episodes for the other parts, and they actually combined the credits for all 3 episodes at the very end. But yeah, there's still definitely a lot of very shocking. This episode had very shocking things that happened. There were still many surprises along the way. Like I said, I loved all the motivational speeches that were spoken, and I love that movie characters show up, and I love that everyone was here. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Yeah. One more thing I want to talk about. Let me talk about Twilight. I absolutely love how fucking headstrong of a character she is, and how headstrong she's become over the years. And I freaking admire her a lot. And I'm drawing a blank because I've been filming for so damn long. I've always admired that about Twilight. That was her headstrong personality and attitude, despite all odds, is always an admirable quality of hers that I've always loved and appreciated about her. And that girl has been through so damn much. Her and the main 6 and everyone else, they've all been through so much, man. And the fact that they were still able to get through all this together, it just warms my heart. And yeah, I fucking love these characters, man, let me tell you. They've come so fucking far. They've come such a long way. But I'll elaborate more on that in my next review. So yeah, I think I'm done. Yeah. And how long have I been filming? I don't know. This camera doesn't tell me how long I've been recording. It only says record at the top, and that's it. But yeah. All right. So I think I'm finally done with this review. So if you liked this video, then don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you liked it, and ring the bell to be notified of future videos I make. Let me know what you thought of the ending of the end, parts 1 and 2. What did you love about it? What did you hate about it? Let me know in the comments. And if there's anything I missed, anything at all, then please let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. And please stay tuned for my next review, which will be my final review for the final episode of Friendship is Magic, entitled The Last Problem, which will be uploaded tomorrow. Yeah. Anyways, I'm Alex Swimmer, aka AP3 Jumped. Thank you so much for watching until the end. That is it for me, and I will see you soon. Goodbye. And I have a lot, and I mean a lot, to say about The Last Problem. Yeah. And I can't wait to share it with you.